Welcome, dear soul. Rest your heart for a moment, because even now, God is sending a divine messenger with the key to your breakthrough. You did not find this message by accident. And you are not listening by coincidence. Because heaven has been arranging gentle moments around your life like petals placed carefully on still water. There has been a quiet stirring in your spirit lately. A sense that something is about to shift. Even though you cannot yet see it with your eyes, you have walked through seasons where doors remained closed. Prayers felt suspended in silence, and hope seemed thinner than morning mist. Yet the silence was never empty. Because God was shaping a messenger while you were learning to trust Him in the dark. The breakthrough you long for is not merely an event, but a divine encounter wrapped in perfect timing. God does not rush sacred things, and He does not send keys before the door is ready to open. There is someone being positioned, prepared, and prompted by the Spirit to cross your path at the appointed hour. This messenger may not look extraordinary in the eyes of the world, but they will carry heaven's instruction in their spirit. You may recognize them not by appearance, but by peace. You may know them not by title, but by confirmation in your heart. Scripture reminds us in Hebrews 13:2, "Do not forget to show hospitality to strangers. For by so doing, some people have shown hospitality to angels without knowing it." Niv. God has always used unexpected vessels to deliver divine solutions. Your breakthrough is not delayed. It is being aligned. Sometimes God hides the answer inside a relationship. Sometimes He wraps provision inside a conversation. Sometimes He conceals restoration inside a simple act of obedience. You have prayed for change, but God has been preparing connection. You have asked for escape, but He is sending strategy. You have asked for clarity, but He is sending wisdom through another voice. And when that voice speaks, something inside you will awaken like a lamp being lit in a dark room. Do not despise small beginnings. Because keys are small, yet they open great doors. The enemy tried to convince you that your waiting meant abandonment, but heaven calls it preparation, as it is written in Isaiah 62:22. When the time is right, I, the Lord, will make it happen. Niv. There is a divine right time woven into your story. Even now, unseen movements are taking place. Phone calls are being stirred. Ideas are being birthed. Favor is being arranged. God's messengers are not always winged beings descending from clouds, but ordinary people moved by extraordinary obedience. The person who will carry your key may not even know yet that they are part of your miracle, but God knows, and that is enough. You have cried in secret, asking God if He still sees you. Let this be your assurance that He has never looked away. He saw every tear fall before it touched the ground. He heard every whispered prayer spoken into your pillow at night, as it is written in Psalms 56:8. You keep track of all my sorrows. You have collected all my tears in your bottle. NLT. You are not forgotten in heaven's record. You are not overlooked in heaven's plan. The breakthrough you seek is not merely about relief, but about revelation. God is not just solving a problem. He is revealing His faithfulness. And when the messenger arrives, you will realize that the waiting was shaping you for what you are about to receive. Breakthrough without preparation can overwhelm the soul. But breakthrough after surrender strengthens it. There were lessons hidden in the delay. There was growth wrapped inside the uncertainty. You have become more discerning. You have become more prayerful. You have become more aware of God's voice. And because of that, you will recognize the messenger when they appear. Be attentive in this season. Not anxious but attentive. Not striving, but watching with quiet faith. The key may come through encouragement. The key may come through correction. The key may come through opportunity. The key may come through reconciliation. God's methods are as varied as His mercies. Sometimes, the messenger carries a word that unlocks courage inside. Sometimes they carry resources that unlock movement around you. Sometimes they carry insight that unlocks clarity before you. Your responsibility is not to force the door open. Your responsibility is to remain faithful where you stand, because when God sends the key, it will fit perfectly. It will not require manipulation. It will not demand compromise. It will not ask you to abandon your integrity. God's blessings do not violate His character. If something requires you to betray your peace, it is not your key. If something demands you silence your convictions, it is not your breakthrough. The messenger from God will align with the Word of God, as it is written in James 1:17. Every good and perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of the heavenly lights. What comes from God carries light, not confusion. It carries confirmation, not chaos. It carries peace. Even when it stretches you, you may be closer than you think. Often the darkest hour precedes the most radiant dawn. The pressure you feel is not a sign of defeat, but of transition. God does not announce breakthroughs with noise, but with nudges. He whispers before He moves. He prepares before He reveals. He sends messengers before He opens doors. And perhaps, even now, someone has felt prompted to reach out to you. Perhaps someone has been thinking about you repeatedly, without understanding why. Perhaps God has already begun the movement. Remain open, remain humble, remain prayerful. Ask the Lord to sharpen your discernment. Invite Him to make your heart ready for what He is sending. Because when the key arrives, you must be willing to use it. Sometimes fear keeps people standing outside doors that have already been unlocked. But you will not shrink back this time. You have grown too much. You have prayed too deeply. You have trusted too long to retreat. Now, let this message settle into your spirit like gentle rain. God is sending a divine messenger with the key to your breakthrough, not by coincidence, not by chance, but by covenant love. If this word is stirring something inside you, take a quiet moment to thank God for what you cannot yet see. Gratitude prepares the soil for miracles. And if this message has touched your spirit, consider subscribing so you can continue walking this journey of faith with us. You may also share in the comments what you are believing God for, so we can lift your request in prayer together. If someone you love is standing in a season of waiting, gently share this message with them, so they know they are not alone. And if you feel led to support these peaceful words through a super thanks, know that your kindness helps this message reach other weary hearts searching for hope. Your support becomes part of someone else's breakthrough story. Now, breathe deeply and release your worry into God's hands. The messenger is being prepared. The key is being shaped. The door is being aligned. And in the stillness of this sacred waiting, your faith is becoming stronger than your fear. Hold that truth gently tonight, and let your heart rest in the quiet certainty that heaven is already moving on your behalf. And as you rest in that certainty, we will continue this sacred journey together, stepping further into the light of what God is unfolding for you. And as your heart rests in the quiet certainty that heaven is already moving on your behalf, something within you begins to soften and open like a flower turning toward the morning sun. You may not see the messenger yet, but you can feel the atmosphere shifting around your life. There is a subtle change in the air of your spirit, a gentle expectancy rising where discouragement once sat heavily. This is how divine movement often begins, not with thunder, But with tenderness, God prepares your inner world before He rearranges your outer one. The breakthrough is not only approaching your circumstances, it is approaching your understanding. You are being invited into a deeper awareness of how God works behind the veil of ordinary days. You once thought miracles had to look dramatic to be real. But now you are learning that the most powerful shifts often arrive wrapped in simplicity. The messenger who carries your key may speak quietly, but their words will echo loudly in your soul. They may ask you a question that awakens courage you forgot you possessed. They may offer insight that untangles confusion you have carried for years. May extend an opportunity that seems small at first, yet unfolds into something far greater than you imagined. Do not underestimate the power of a single divinely timed conversation. In Scripture, God often used one encounter to redirect an entire destiny. Consider how a simple instruction changed the course of a weary widow's life in 1 Kings 17:13-14, when the prophet told her, "Do not be afraid, for this is what the Lord, the God of Israel, says. The jar of flour will not be used up, and the jug of oil will not run dry." Niv, what seemed like her final meal, became the beginning of supernatural provision. Your situation may feel as though it has reached its limit, but God specializes in multiplying what appears insufficient. The messenger may not bring abundance in visible form at first, but they will carry a word that activates faith, and faith is the seed from which provision grows. As it is written in Romans 10:17, faith comes from hearing the message, and the message is heard through the word about Christ. Niv, when the right word reaches the right heart at the right time, chains begin to loosen. You have been standing at a threshold. Without realizing it, the waiting season was not a hallway of delay, but a classroom of preparation. You were being strengthened for what you were about to steward. Breakthrough is not only about receiving, it is about becoming. God is forming in you the capacity to carry what He is releasing. Without that inner expansion, the blessing could feel overwhelming instead of empowering. You have noticed that your prayers sound different lately. There is less desperation and more surrender. There is less striving and more trust. This is growth. This is spiritual maturity unfolding quietly. The messenger who comes into your life will recognize this readiness in you. Divine connections are drawn to prepared hearts, and when you meet, there will be a resonance, a sense that heaven arranged this crossing of paths. It may not feel dramatic, but it will feel right. Peace will guard your spirit like a gentle sentinel, as it is written in Philippians 4:7. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. Niv. This peace will not depend on visible proof, but on inward assurance. The key may require you to step forward in faith. It may ask you to leave familiar ground. It may invite you to release something that has felt secure, even if it was limiting. Breakthrough often begins where comfort ends, but you are not being led into risk without guidance. The same God who sends the messenger walks beside you as you turn the key. You are not alone in the transition. If fear tries to whisper that you are unworthy of this new chapter, remember that worthiness was never the requirement. Grace is the reason, as it is written in Ephesians 2:8. For it is by grace you have been saved, through faith, and this is not from yourselves. It is the gift of God. NIV, closing parenthesis. The breakthrough is not a reward for perfection, but a gift born from God's goodness. Release the idea that you must earn what God has already chosen to give. Receive it with humility, instead of hesitation. The messenger may also bring refinement. Not every divine key unlocks a door of comfort immediately. Some unlock doors of growth that lead to greater freedom later. Be open to correction, wrapped in kindness. Be receptive to wisdom that stretches your thinking. Sometimes, the key is truth, that realigns your direction. Sometimes the key is forgiveness that frees your heart. Sometimes the key is courage that breaks generational patterns. God's breakthroughs are holistic. They touch not only your circumstances, but your character. They transform not only your situation, but your soul. You are stepping into a season where clarity will replace confusion. Light will enter spaces that once felt shadowed. Conversations will feel purposeful instead of accidental. Opportunities will align with your calling instead of distracting from it. The messenger is not random. They are part of divine orchestration, and you are part of it too. You may even discover that you are called to be a messenger for someone else along the way. As God unlocks doors for you, He will entrust you with keys for others. This is how His kingdom moves, through hearts surrendered to serve. As it is written in Matthew 10:8, freely you have received, freely give, Niv. The breakthrough flowing toward you is not meant to stop with you. It will ripple outward, touching lives you may never fully see. That is the beauty of God's design. Nothing is wasted. Nothing is isolated. Everything connects in ways beyond human understanding. You may still feel moments of doubt, and that is human. But doubt does not cancel destiny. Bring your uncertainty honestly before God. He is not threatened by your questions. He welcomes your transparency, as it is written in Jeremiah 33:3. Call to me and I will answer you, and tell you great and unsearchable things you do not know, Niv. There are insights waiting to be revealed. There are strategies waiting to be spoken. There are confirmations waiting to settle your heart. Stay near to Him in this season. Spend quiet moments in prayer. Let His word anchor your thoughts when emotions feel unsteady. The messenger will complement what God has already been whispering to you in secret. There will be alignment between heaven's voice and their guidance, and when the key is finally placed in your hand, you will recognize it not as something foreign, but as something familiar. It will resonate with prayers you prayed months ago. It will answer questions you asked in tears. It will fulfill promises you clung to in faith. The door will not open with force, but with grace. You will step through not as someone desperate, but as someone prepared. Let your heart breathe in this assurance. The process is sacred. The timing is intentional. The messenger is being guided. If this word is bringing calm to your spirit, consider subscribing so we can continue walking deeper into these truths together. You may share in the comments what door you are believing God to open, and we will stand with you in prayer. If you know someone who feels as though they are standing at a closed door, gently send this message to remind them that heaven has not forgotten their address. And if you feel moved to offer a super thanks, your generosity helps these quiet messages of faith reach souls who are searching for light in heavy seasons. Your support becomes a bridge of hope for someone else. Now rest in this truth. The key is drawing near. Your spirit is being steadied. Your discernment is being sharpened, and as we continue, we will step even further into the unfolding beauty of what happens when the door finally begins to open. And as we step even further into the unfolding beauty of what happens when the door finally begins to open, you can almost feel the gentle turning of the key within your spirit. There is a sacred stillness just before a breakthrough becomes visible. It is the hush before sunrise. It is the pause before a promise manifests. You have journeyed through waiting, through preparation, through quiet inner transformation, and now you are standing at the edge of fulfillment. The messenger has come, or is arriving even now, carrying what heaven entrusted to them. For you it may not look the way you imagined. God rarely fulfills prayers in predictable packaging, but what He sends always carries His signature of peace. As the door begins to open, you may feel both excitement and trembling. That trembling is not weakness. It is reverence. It is the awareness that you are stepping into something divinely arranged. When God opens a door, it is not merely access to a new circumstance. It is entrance into a new dimension of trust. The breakthrough is not simply about relief from what was difficult. It is about partnership with God in what comes next. You prayed for change, and now change stands before you like an open threshold. Take a breath. Let your soul steady itself. You do not have to rush through the doorway. You may step with calm confidence, knowing that the one who unlocked it walks ahead of you, as it is written in Deuteronomy 31:8. The Lord himself goes before you and will be with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you, Niv. You are not entering unknown territory alone. The messenger may step back once the key has been used. That is often how it happens. They were assigned to assist your transition, not to replace your dependence on God. Honor their role with gratitude. But keep your eyes fixed on the Lord who authored the miracle. Sometimes we are tempted to cling to the instrument instead of the source. But your breakthrough flows from God's heart, not from human hands. Even so, do not underestimate the courage it took for the messenger to obey. Pray blessing over them. Pray that God multiplies the kindness they extended to you, because obedience creates ripples that stretch far beyond one moment. Now that the door is open, you may notice new responsibilities emerging. Breakthrough brings stewardship. Freedom carries accountability. Blessing invites wisdom. You once asked God to enlarge your territory. Enlargement requires capacity, as it is written in 1 Chronicles 4:10, "Oh, that you would bless me and enlarge my territory. Let your hand be with me." NIV, closing parenthesis. Notice that enlargement and God's hand go together. Do not attempt to manage this new season through your own strength. Stay anchored in prayer. Stay grounded in humility. The enemy may try to whisper that this breakthrough is fragile. He may suggest that it could disappear at any moment. But what God establishes cannot be undone by fear. As it is written in Revelation 3:8, "See, I have placed before you an open door that no one can shut." NIV, closing parenthesis. If God opened it, no force can close it without his permission. Rest in that security. You may find that the door leads to healing. Old wounds may finally receive closure. Conversations once avoided may now bring reconciliation. Peace may settle where tension once lived, or perhaps the door leads to opportunity. A new path in your calling may unfold. Creative ideas may bloom with clarity. Provision may arrive in ways that feel both surprising and perfectly timed. Whatever lies beyond the threshold, remember that this breakthrough is not the end of your journey. It is a new chapter in your unfolding story with God. Each season reveals a different facet of his character. In waiting, you learned his patience. In preparation, you discovered his wisdom. In breakthrough, you will encounter his faithfulness. Let gratitude overflow naturally from your heart. Speak thanksgiving aloud. Whisper praise in quiet moments, as it is written in Psalms 118-23. The Lord has done this, and it is marvelous in our eyes. Niv. Marvel at what he has done. Allow yourself to celebrate. Without guilt, you endured much to arrive here. You trusted when evidence was scarce. You held on when discouragement pressed heavily. And now you are tasting the fruit of perseverance. Do not rush past this sacred milestone. Pause and reflect on how far you have come. Remember the nights you wondered if anything would change. Remember the prayers that felt unanswered. Now look at what God has accomplished. This testimony will strengthen you in future seasons, because life continues to move in rhythms of challenge and renewal. But once you have witnessed God unlock one impossible door, your faith expands for the next dot. You are becoming someone who recognizes divine patterns. You are learning to trust God's timing instead of resisting it. You are discovering that breakthrough is not random, but relational. It flows from walking closely with him, and as your breakthrough becomes visible to others, you may notice that your story inspires them. They will see hope where they once saw limitation. They will hear courage in your voice. They will sense authenticity in your joy. Do not hide what God has Done. Share it gently. Testify with humility. As it is written in Matthew 5:16. Let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. Your breakthrough becomes someone else's encouragement. Your open door becomes someone else's reason to believe. And perhaps, without even realizing it, you will become a messenger for another weary heart. You will carry keys shaped by compassion. You will speak words formed through experience. You will extend guidance born from grace. This is how the kingdom multiplies hope. One unlocked door leads to another. One obedient heart awakens another. One testimony ignites another flame of faith. If this journey through waiting, preparation, and breakthrough has resonated deeply within you, consider subscribing so we can continue exploring these sacred truths together. Share in the comments how God has opened doors in your life, or what you are still trusting Him to unlock. Let this space become a place of shared encouragement and prayer. If someone you know stands at the edge of despair, send them this message so they may glimpse the possibility of an open door. And if you feel moved to offer a super thanks, know that your generosity helps these gentle words travel farther, reaching hearts that long for reassurance in uncertain seasons. Your kindness becomes part of a larger story of healing now. Dear soul, stand quietly before the open door. Feel the peace that surrounds you. Sense the faith that has grown stronger through the journey. The messenger fulfilled their assignment. The key turned with perfect timing. The door opened by divine design. And as you step forward into this new chapter, may your heart remain soft, your spirit attentive, and your trust unwavering. For the God who brought you here will continue guiding you onward, from glory to glory, through every door yet to be revealed. And as you step forward into this new chapter, with your heart soft and your trust unwavering, you begin to realize that the open door was never the destination, but the invitation. There is life beyond the breakthrough. There is depth beyond the blessing. There is communion beyond the miracle. You crossed the threshold expecting change around you. And indeed, things have shifted. Yet what feels most profound is the quiet transformation within you. You are not the same person who once stood outside, wondering if the door would ever open. Something in you has matured. Something in you has steadied. Something in you now rests more deeply in God than in outcomes. This is the greater miracle. The breakthrough was visible. The growth was invisible. And heaven rejoices more over the transformation of your heart than over the alteration of your circumstances. You may notice that the new season requires rhythms you have never practiced before. Blessing requires balance. Expansion requires boundaries. Increase requires intimacy with God to sustain it. Without closeness to Him, even answered prayers can become distractions. Stay near to the source. As it is written in John 15:5, I am the vine, you are the branches. If you remain in me and I in you, you will bear much fruit. Apart from me you can do nothing. The open door leads into a vineyard of responsibility in fruitfulness. Abide, and you will flourish. Disconnect, and even opportunity can wither. Do not let success whisper independence into your spirit. Do not let relief replace reverence. Keep cultivating the prayer life that sustained you when you had nothing but hope. Keep honoring God with gratitude as faithfully as you honored Him with tears. It is easy to seek Him desperately in drought. It is sacred to seek Him faithfully in abundance. You may encounter unexpected challenges. Even beyond this door, not every difficulty disappears when a breakthrough arrives. Some Struggles simply change form, yet now you face them differently. You face them with memory. You remember what God has already done. You remember how the messenger arrived at the appointed time. You remember how the key turned when everything seemed delayed. Memory strengthens courage. Testimony fortifies trust, as it is written in Lamentations 3:22-23. Because of the Lord's great love we are not consumed, for his compassions never fail. They are new every morning. NIV, closing parenthesis. Each new day beyond the open door carries fresh mercy. Do not project fear from yesterday into tomorrow. Live present, live attentive, live, aware that God continues to guide your steps. You may also sense a deeper call stirring within you now. Breakthrough often awakens purpose when chains fall away. Vision rises. When doors open, direction clarifies. Ask the Lord what this new season is meant to produce in you and through you. The door was not only for your benefit, it was for kingdom impact. Perhaps you are being positioned to lead with compassion because you remember waiting. Perhaps you are being entrusted with influence because you learned humility and obscurity. Perhaps you are being invited to serve in ways that require the strength forged in silent battles. God wastes nothing. Every tear, every delay, every uncertain night was preparation for responsible freedom. As it is written in Luke 16:10, whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much. Niv, your faithfulness in hidden seasons qualified you for visible ones. Carry that honor with gentleness. There may be moments when nostalgia tempts you to look back longingly at the familiar place you once stood. Growth can feel disorienting. Comfort zones can call your name softly, but remember that you prayed for this door, you believed for this change. Do not retreat into smaller spaces because they feel predictable. Trust the enlargement. Trust the expansion. Trust the God who measured your capacity before opening the way. And if ever you feel uncertain again, return to stillness, return to prayer, return to Scripture. The same voice that guided you through waiting will guide you through abundance. The same Spirit that steadied you in delay will sustain you in destiny. You are not navigating this new territory by instinct alone. You are being led step by step, as it is written in Proverbs 3:5-6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your paths straight. Niv, submission did not end when the door opened, it deepened. Now your obedience flows not from desperation, but from devotion. There is a difference. Desperation seeks escape. Devotion seeks alignment. You are no longer praying merely for rescue. You are praying for refinement. You are no longer asking only for answers. You are asking for intimacy. This is spiritual maturity unfolding like sunrise across your soul. As days pass, you will begin to notice how naturally peace accompanies you. Not because life is perfect, but because your trust has roots now, roots that extend deep beneath visible ground, roots formed in seasons of uncertainty. Storms may still come, but you are anchored. As it is written in Colossians 2:7, rooted and built up in him, strengthened in the faith as you were taught, and overflowing with thankfulness. Niv, overflow becomes your posture. Gratitude becomes your language. Hope becomes your witness. And somewhere along the way, you realize that the greatest key God ever gave you was not held in someone's hand. It was planted in your heart. The key of trust, the key of trust, the key of surrender, the key of unwavering Faith. Every external door responds to internal alignment. When your heart opens fully to God, pathways begin to unfold naturally before you, so live beyond the open door with awareness. Guard your peace. Protect your joy. Nurture your relationship with the one who authored this journey. And if ever you forget how far you have come, revisit this sacred story. Remember the waiting. Remember the messenger. Remember the turning of the key. Remember the first step across the threshold. Let memory anchor humility and fuel gratitude. If this entire journey has spoken to your spirit, subscribe so we can continue walking through future seasons of faith together. Share in the comments what God has done in your life, or what you are now believing Him for in this new chapter. Encourage someone else by sharing this message, especially those who still stand outside a door that feels closed. And if you feel led to offer a super thanks, your generosity allows these words of hope to travel farther, reaching hearts that may be only one message away from renewed faith. Your support becomes part of heaven's gentle whisper to someone in need. Now breathe deeply, stand confidently, walk humbly, live faithfully. The messenger came, the key turned, the door opened, and beyond it, you discovered not just breakthrough, but deeper communion with the God who was with you every step of the way. May you continue forward in light, in love, and in unwavering trust, knowing that every future door will open in the same perfect wisdom and divine timing.